Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will be harvesting a few of our berries and a couple of vegetables, and I will also be taking you along on our garden tour. Let's start from the front yard. This here is our pawpaw tree. We have a couple of them, and this year this particular tree has started to produce even more fruits compared to the previous years, and the other one is a little bit slow in producing fruits, but it's also starting now. They come in a cluster of 3, and you can see that this has really kind of doubled its production. The second plant was a little bit slower. It seems it takes about 12 years for it to start producing. The other plant was already kind of prepped and pruned to produce earlier. This one is a little slower. You saw us planting these potatoes in my May planting video, and now they are already flowering. It will take a while before we can have our first harvest. We got rid of the ants, but now we have the next predator in our garden, that is mice. We have quite a lot of them and they have been eating up the roots, and we are trying to find a solution for that too. These two plants over here, which looks like a pumpkin, is actually a squash, and it is called patisson. It's a French word, I don't know the English equivalent. And this strawberry is our latest addition, but it will only fruit next year. And here we have broccoli. It will take a while. In a few weeks they would be ready. The red one is a spinach variety. That's a rare species of spinach. We have over here one butternut squash. Then the other side, the darkish green one, is zucchini. The peas are ready for harvesting. It's not a lot of it, but we will be harvesting a few. I like to collect a couple of harvests before I can cook them. We were very busy in installing a couple of solar panels on our main roof, and that was what has taken us away from our gardening. But finally, we are done with it. It would not have been possible if not for a good friend of my husband's. He came and they both together fixed the scaffolding and fitted in the solar panel. And my husband took down the scaffolding by himself, but it was so nice of our friend to help us. This bed here, we have a few zucchinis. They are a little bit late, but once they start producing, it's quite a lot. We had to trim down our Swiss chard because they were infested with a lot of tiny bugs. You can see the damage the mice have done. A couple of our maize have fallen down, but somehow they are just hanging on and they are continuing to grow. Let's see how well they do when they start to fruit. So we have a multi-crop growing over in this bed. We have the maize, then we have the pumpkin beside it, and then we have the peas and the beans. And to avoid this mice problem, we figured out it's good to have some mint close by. We did a treatment with stinging nettle. We infused a lot of stinging nettle in buckets of water, and then we poured it around in this area. So let's see how it's going to work out. We already harvested a lot of roses. I made a rose petal jam, and I also made a rose syrup. I will link both the videos and the blog post below in the description box. This one is Mirabelle plums. This year they seem to have recovered, and I see a few plums growing. Let me see how well they do. Probably with the years they will produce a lot more fruits. we planted these geraniums in pots, and this plant is also growing for the past 2 years. And this year we also planted jasmine. These are winter heart jasmine, and I got a couple of button roses too. Moving on to the herb garden. These basil have already started to flower, but I haven't picked as of now. Here we have some chives and rucola. We had to cut down the rucola quite a bit because they were not doing that well. Now they seem to have recovered. In the spot we have sage, and beside it also rosemary. It looks like our rhubarb and even our neighbors hasn't done very well this year. He also had a similar problem. I don't know if it is less water because it has been quite dry. The mint seems to be thriving, and I don't have the time to harvest all the mint. And here we have our salad bed, and they were pretty much without any weeds or grass, but once it started to rain and we got a couple of rainy days, the weeds all started to thrive. So now he's going to pluck out some of these other plants. Behind over there is also celery. We have been harvesting a few leaves every day for our salad bowl. This one here is beetroot, and right behind there is Savoy cabbage. This is carrot. They have grown quite a bit, so now we will have to replant them. And the ones with the flower is fenugreek. We could plant a few more fenugreek. And finally we have a cucumber to harvest. We planted a couple of cucumbers, one outside and one inside the greenhouse. These have a lot of thorns, so we'll have to brush it out before we can take it in. Our red currants are slowly getting ready for harvest. We will be harvesting it towards the end. It was quite dry and it took a while for them to really start to get sweeter. Here we planted chickpeas. And in the greenhouse here, this is one of the greenhouse. This is an open greenhouse. We have a couple of tomatoes and slowly they are starting to flower. And we also planted okra in the greenhouse. Beside it, we also have aubergine, and then close to okra we have the sweet potato. These are our heirloom sweet potatoes. That one there with the darkish leaf is jalapeno peppers. And this one is really hot chilies. You saw us planting a couple of rare species of tomatoes. They are fruiting and we are picking a couple now and then since a week. The chili plant in this pot survived the winter because we had it growing inside our home and now it's flowering. This is the other variety of tomato. They've grown quite big, but I think they get even bigger than that. And outside we had garlic, and this one is also sweet potato from our heirloom harvest, and they are growing outside. Now it's time to pick some of the heirloom garlic. You saw us replanting them in my May planting video, and now a few of them have really grown big. We have not harvested all of it because some of them are still quite small. We were so busy with installing the solar panel, we had no time to tend to our garden, and many things had grown wild. This one is the blueberry bush, and to harvest all our red currants, we'll have to first clear the path so that we can get to it. I have shared a few recipes with red currants. I will link them below in the description box and also add it in the cards above. This was our first batch of harvest. They didn't get all ripe at the same time, and moreover we had to clear up so that they got enough sunshine. We got a few strawberries every day, and now we were waiting to harvest a little bit more. This is our second year of planting. These strawberries are really very sweet. After harvesting the strawberries, we will also harvest cherries. Our cherry tree has grown extremely tall, and the new ladder which we got for fixing the solar panel on the garden shed was very useful for this purpose. We did harvest before this a little bit every day, but now it was the last of our cherry harvest. This is all the cherry we could get in addition to the strawberries. We have been picking regularly, but since we have just one tree and a little bit of strawberry, it's not as much as we would like. And I'm still processing all our red currants. I will link all those videos below in the description box. With this, I end my video. I hope you enjoyed our little garden tour and harvest. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.